What if you could have roses blooming like a pro's garden, but have been told they're too hard to grow? Stop believing that myth. I'm about to reveal the 7 spectacular rose types anyone can grow, from tiny miniatures perfect for your windowsill to massive 20-foot climbers that transform an ugly fence. I'll show you the secret to nonstop color and the one variety florists use that you can grow at home. If you want breathtaking blooms without the constant struggle, every second of this video is for you. When you've exhausted Google, binged YouTube, and bought everything the garden center recommended, and the problem still isn't fixed, that's when you need me. Let's dive in. But first, hit that like button and subscribe. Okay, we have something really special lined up right now, and I'm going to talk to you about the 7 different types of roses that are just spectacular, which you can grow. Roses are one of the kind of plants that can be grown anywhere in the United States, whether it's in a container or in the ground. You do need a couple of things that are really important. Number one, you need 8 hours of sunlight. So between 6 and 8 hours is okay. If you have a little bit more, that's even better. If you're going to grow them in containers, of course, they're going to dry out a whole lot more. But in the same instance, all you got to do is water them. You put them in the ground, then you could water them much less than that. But it all depends on a lot of different factors. But I want to get into the varieties of the plants as opposed to the care of the plants for this second. For instance, the tiniest of them all are miniature roses. These are the cute little things, the little flowers, a little bit this like this. They are tiny plants. They'll get 6 to 18 inches tall thereabouts. They do have the small blooms, normally not much more than 1 inch across. And what's really cool about some of them is that they'll stay in the bud-like stage to where they look like the real big roses that someone would give you, but they're tiny like this. And then they'll open up into like a button almost. Really, really cool. They're perfect for small containers, windowsills, small places, continuous blooming all throughout the season. And if you get them in the wintertime and they're blooming, that's because they were grown in a greenhouse and they were given to you during that time. They'll start releasing them like in November. But that's not the typical time that they would bloom on you. They're going to bloom just like any other kind of rose, because that's exactly what they are. They are low maintenance, and you prune them a little bit differently. Again, we're going to get into that at a different time. Now, hybrid tea roses, those are the classic florist rose. They're tall, they're elegant, single large blooms per stem. We're talking 3 to 5 inches across once they're open. The plants grow 3 to 6 feet tall. The stems are absolutely perfect for cut roses. These are the ones that you're going to find at the florists typically. They are high-centered, perfectly formed flowers. They need regular care and maintenance, but then again, a lot of them absolutely need that care and maintenance for them as well. So keep that in mind if you want that single flowered rose. But if you don't want the single flowered rose, the thing to do is get yourself some Floribunda roses. And just as the name sounds, flora, and then bunda, meaning in abundance, Floribundas, they are really, really kind of cool because you'll have a cluster of blooms on each stem instead of just singles. Now, the flowers are a little bit smaller. You're only getting 2 to 3 inches across on these things. And when you end up deadheading them, typically you have to deadhead the whole bunch of flowers at once. But don't worry, they are prolific, heavy bloomers. We're talking continuous color. They are hardier and they're easier than the hybrid teas, and they make a great landscape impact plant. So if you really want that look, they are just beautiful for that. Now, you can maintain these things to little tiny ones at 2 feet tall, but get them to be about 4 to 5 feet. I think that's a little bit more typical for the Floribunda roses. So those right there are the cat's meow if you want a lot of flowers. Now, if you want something that's kind of like the hybrid teas, where you're going to get those really big, large blooms on long stems, these Grandifloras, listen to the name, Grandiflora, big flora, flowers. Grandiflora roses are between the hybrid tea and the Floribunda as far as their care and everything is concerned. But they are tall plants. They will get 4, 6, even up to 8 feet tall. These things are giganormous, and they have these large blooms on the long stems. They flower nearly, if not more, actually they do more than the hybrid teas. They are great for cutting in their landscape. If you want drama in your landscape, right? Keep drama in your landscape, not inside your house. These are the plants to have. Grandifloras are absolutely beautiful plants. If you can get your hands on the one that's called the Mr. Lincoln. Mr. Lincoln is one of the non-patented roses that are probably the most prolific, the most scent-filled grandiflora roses you can get on. You can get them in other varieties too, as we just talked to, but oh my, big, delicious flowers. Absolutely love those things. Now, there's another rose that is what we call a rambling or a climbing rose. And the canes will reach, we're talking 10 to 20 feet. I mean, these things get big. You can grow them on lattices. You can grow up beside of buildings. You can grow them on trellises. They are huge. They technically don't climb by themselves. You got to help them along a little bit. So when you help them along, that means that you're going to have to take those canes and you're going to have to plop them someplace and then tie them down. Super easy to do and super dramatic. These bloom the entire length of the canes. So if you happen to have a chain link fence that you want to cover up, these right from almost from the ground all the way through that 20-foot cane, it will bloom. So super, super dramatic. A lot of different colors with all of these roses. That's the best part. You can get reds, greens, whites. You can get just yellows, and they're just really, really fascinating plants to have. So the climbing, when it comes to pruning them, you're going to have to cut them down just like you would all the other ones. Again, that's in another video, but you're going to have to take these and understand that they are going to be the perfect plant for you in that particular scenario, okay? So, but once they're blooming, they'll just keep on going. You don't have to worry about it. Great plants to have, but you do have to maintain these things. Again, it's arbors, fences, walls, keep those. Now, we have what we call specialty roses. This right here now comes to what we call the tree or the standard roses. They are grafted onto a tall trunk, which could be 3 feet, 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet tall, and then you have this big old rounded plant that's up on top, but there's nothing underneath. They look like miniature trees. That's what they look like. It creates a lollipop type of a look to it. Great plants to have. They are topical plants to have. People love to discuss these things, and they will have that bare stem for that 3 to 4 feet, and the blooms are only on top. Only on top. They're great for formal gardens, elegant garden statements. They do need the support on that stalk, though, so kind of keep that in mind. And finally, we have what we call the English roses, or the David Austin roses. I got to tell you, I'm not a big fan of those. I just don't like the way that they are. They have the old-fashioned flowering. It's really kind of traditionally, it's the type of rose that was originally around. That type of rose, the English roses. Anyways, they do bloom. They're full. They're cupped. A lot of people like the romantic look to them. To me, they kind of look messy, but they do have strong fragrances. Most of the fragrant ones are in the modern of the English roses. Bushy plants, 3 to 5 feet tall. They do have that vintage beauty to them, and they are very reliable in their performance. And that is all about the different types of roses that you can have in your garden.